But deficiencies are so prevalent now because your gut health is so poor. It is so poor, which is why I brought my Activate supplement to the market. Now, apple cider vinegar combined with a few other incredible ingredients in here will help your stomach absorb the vitamins and minerals that you eat. Your stomach has to be acid. The acetic acid in here will help your stomach acidify and help the absorption of key vitamins and minerals that your body needs. If it's not acid enough, you can't absorb it. And then you might have a bile issue, you might not have a gallbladder. So actually, are you absorbing anything that you're eating? Maybe not, because your gut health is so poor and you've also got maybe even a liver issue and a gallbladder issue. So see the combination of that, it's not good. You're fixing it now. I'm reassuring you of that. You're fixing all of that now. But that is the Activate supplement. It is an incredible supplement. It's an enhanced high strength dose. 100% active, 100% clean, zero fillers, zero additives. All of my products are. It is amazing. And it also contains ginger root and MCT. MCT, when you need fats a lot of the time, fat soluble vitamins, they rely on fat. And if you can't absorb, say you have a bile issue, bile breaks down fat and helps you absorb vitamins. But if you don't have the bile to break down the fats, you need the fats together with the supplementation, then you're never going to pull them through. You can't absorb them. So fat soluble vitamins, for example, are vitamins A, D, K, that sort of thing. You're not going to be able to pull them through. So you might think, well, I like carbs. Yeah, well, so what? And people go to me, yeah, I couldn't do your program. I like carbs too much, without actually really knowing what's going on in there. Slap a bit of makeup on, get some hair extensions in, get your boobs done and get your lips done, and I love carbs. But actually, what about inside? If we want to have a nice, long, healthy, happy life, fine, do what you need to do, but look after inside first. No point in sticking it all on. I do as well, you know what I do. But the makeup and that doesn't really matter if inside you've got massive amounts of inflammation. You're basically rotten inside. So HbA1c is a test to see how much sugar essentially is stuck to the red blood cells. And that's what HbA1c is. And it's a great predictor of disease. And it's a great indicator of how much sugar is in your blood. Now, if you've got high blood sugar, then you eventually will be pre-diabetic, and then you will be diabetic. But in this case of the Pac-Man and glycation, you're going to have so much glycation in your body that's going to lead to huge amounts of inflammation, and it's just a matter of time before you start getting health problems. I promise you it is. So if you've got a diet that's high in refined carbohydrates, and one of these people, but I love carbs people, I get it. I understand that they're tasty and it's really easy and convenient and stuff like that. I get all of it, but I also see the other side of it more than most. And I see the ill health and the struggles that people have. So HbA1c is a test that you will get, and it's an average of your blood sugar over 2 to 3 months. And as I say, it gives you a great idea of how much blood sugar, or how much sugar is in your blood. And it's basically how much of your the protein in the red blood cell has been encased in sugar. And that's all it is, really simply put. It's the protein in the red blood cell, hemoglobin, that's encased in this sugar, the toffee apple thing. So it's a combination, like I said last night, of sugar meeting fats or sugar meeting protein. And here are some values. In fact, no, we'll go over values later on. So, remember I said to you, glycation will lead to problems of the eye, so like retinopathy or glaucoma, or even blindness and diabetes, cataracts even. In the brain and the nervous system, the brain becomes, or you could start to develop Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. You get nerve damage, you get tingling of the hands and feet, and the burning sensation of the extremities, exactly what my dad had. My dad was diagnosed with hardening of the arteries, and I don't know if you know this, if you're new to FLB, my logo is, it's an S and a B, right, obviously, and I don't know if you see, yeah, and this part here, no, that's a terrible diagram. Have a look at my logo, and you'll see a love heart right in the middle. And the love heart really is symbolic of my dad's heart, which failed. So it's right at the centre of what I do. It's why I do what I do. It's why I'm so passionate about it. Obviously, you know, my dad was a heavy drinker. The whole lifestyle thing that I endured as a youngster, I don't want to see happen again. And a lot of it was ignorance, and a lot of it was just that old school mentality of, well, I know best, and I'll just do what I fucking well want to do, and that's it. But not really understanding that has a major impact on children. Children see that, I seen it, you absorb it, you take it into your life, and you think, and I was, you know, I was never an alcoholic, don't get me wrong, but I was misusing alcohol, let's say, for quite a while. And a lot of people say, well, you become what you see. And I understand that, and I probably agree with that to a massive degree. Or you can go the other way and think, that was horrific, I'm not going near that, which again is great, but I think that's quite few and far between, in my experience anyway. So my dad had atherosclerosis, which was a narrowing of the artery, so his artery was damaged. So he was starting to get the numbness, and his was in his lower part of his legs, his calves. He couldn't even walk to the bus. My dad didn't drive, because if he drove, then he wouldn't be able to drink, so why would he drive? I never actually clicked onto that until probably early 20s. I thought, that's why you don't drive. Right, I get it now. So, yeah, and he was threatened with, listen, if you don't stop smoking, obviously because smoking is a glycator as well, if you don't stop smoking, you're probably going to have an amputation, because you'll develop maybe even gangrene or something. And when you develop gangrene, you've got a lot of fungus issues, and basically you rot and have to cut that part of your body off. And it all starts with this. It's crazy really, isn't it? The drink causes this. But it wasn't just drink. My dad used to eat chips every night, most nights, cooked in vegetable oils, and the smoking. So everything he was doing really was glycating. And don't get me wrong, he loved mince and steak and good quality meats. He always wanted good meat. He would say, where's the meat? That's the kind of man he was. But there was always chips on the plate. So between all of these things, I've asked you not to eat vegetable oils, and I've been really quite direct with that. I don't want you ever to eat vegetable oils ever again. They're very high in omega-6, which relative to the standard British or American diet, the ratio is far too tipped in favour of omega-6 and not omega-3. It should kind of be on a balance, and it's not. So massive amounts of inflammation. So the soybean oil, the canola oil, the corn oil, the cottonseed oil, all of that stuff is garbage. Do not use it. My mum came in the other day with, and still my mum, this is my mum, right? So I can understand why it's people just don't change. This is my mum. She come in with some shit like rapeseed oil. And I said, Mum, you've heard me talking so many times. She said, no, I'm not going to use it all the time. Oh, right, okay, just stop there, move on. So, in the artery, it's called endothelial dysfunction. Inflammation leads to clots, leads to plaques, and atherosclerosis, narrowing of the artery. And the kidney obviously damages the filter, and some of the deficiencies and some of the problems associated with the kidney I'm going to talk about just shortly. So that's HbA1c. You can get a test at any time from your doctor. Any time at all, you can go and request a test, and you'll find out how much glycation is going on in your body. I would suggest you do that. Okay. So just to make it really, really visual for you. So you've got the red blood cells. When they're glycated, they become really stiff, really immobile, stuck, blocked and rigid. And what you essentially do is you start starving off tissues. And when you starve off tissues and nerves, they die. And when they die, your circulation goes, you start to even feel stiff and sore and painful. You've got that inflammation in there, and you start to feel old. That's what happens. You're decaying from the inside, and it's not because of old age, it's because of all the shit that you're eating and drinking. So the tingling, the numbness, the pain, the burning, if you've got that in your extremities or in your legs or something, that's an indication that you need to do something. You need to do it now, not next week, not next month. Will a book on FLB be next month? I think you better, yeah. So when that happens, it leads to fungus and pathogens. Gangrene may develop, and gangrene and fungus and pathogens survive in low oxygen states. So when you're killing off the blood cells, the oxygen level is lower. The fungus and the bacteria and the gangrene love that, and they're just all over it. And before long, you need a foot, a toe, a leg chopped off. And we all know, in fact, Wendy, my friend, knows somebody that's just had a leg off because of the same thing. So nobody's wanting that to happen to anybody anytime soon, eh? So this education is not just for you, it's for people that you know as well, people that are connected to you, your friends of friends. When you've got this information, you start getting really curious about it yourself, and you start doing your own research, which is why I'm doing this, right? So, where are we going? So 5.7, HbA1c 5.7 would be normal. 5.7 to 6.4 would be pre-diabetic, and 6.4 or above would be diabetic. And you know that you could change. I'm thinking about Antonia that was on this programme. She completely reversed her health conditions in a matter of weeks. Her HbA1c was normal within a couple of months, and her diabetes was in complete reversal within the same time. It's doable if you just stick to the meal plan. Okay, can I talk about some very, very common deficiencies? Depression. Guess what depression a lot of the time is linked to? A vitamin D deficiency, which is why in the winter time it seems to get worse. No sunlight, no vitamin D. So what do? You take Shelley Booth's Boot Up, vitamin D3 and K2. It's an incredible product. Loads of other amazing things in here, like nettle root, shiitake mushrooms, pumpkin seeds, MCTs. Incredible, 100% active, no fillers, no binders, no bulking agents at all. That's what you would take, but you should be taking that anyway. If you've got inflammation because of a poor diet, you need vitamin D. You absolutely need it. Should you be taking 2,000 international units? No, I wouldn't say so. If you've got a health problem, you should be taking probably at least 10,000 international units and get a vitamin D test. But that's what I would suggest. Vitamin D works like a dream. What about salty cravings? That is a real indication that you need salt, and not sodium chloride, sea salt, Himalayan pink salt, a good quality salt. Salt your food. I always say that to you. Don't be scared to salt your food with good quality salt, no table salt. So if you're craving salt or like crisps at night, then that's a good indication that it's a sodium deficiency. What about low back pain? That's vitamin D too. Particularly when you go to bend, you pick something up, you go, oh, my back. Also, pain in your calves. If you push on your calves, that's an indication that you've got a vitamin D deficiency also. What about cravings for, this is a common one, cravings for ice or dirt, or when I was pregnant it was like I needed the crunch of something and it felt like dirt, and that's an iron deficiency. And the best form of iron is red meat. I mean, you'll still get iron from all the green leafy veg and spinach and stuff, but red meat is the best source of iron, is very bioavailable. So, and this will be some of you, some of these symptoms will be some of you, and it'll be some of your friends and partners and things, so just bear it all in mind. What about white spots on the fingernails? That's common. And you think it's calcium deficiency, and it actually isn't, is a zinc deficiency. Sugar destroys zinc, and so when you've got the wee white spots on your nails, it could mean that you're eating too much sugar and it's diminishing the impact, or it's stopping zinc doing its job, or you might not have any zinc in your system and you need to get it in. What about asthma? That's vitamin D as well, which explains why in the summertime asthma a lot of the time diminishes. Unless it's, you know, a hay fever thing and you take an inhaler, but just pure straight asthma, not hay fever, in the summertime it goes because the sunlight gives you vitamin D. So if you've got asthma, should you be taking vitamin D? Yes, I think everybody should be taking vitamin D. You'll say to me, but what? I've got enough. Get a test. Be sure. 25 hydroxy test, we'll tell you. You get a home testing kit. Here we go again, erectile dysfunction. Is actually added to what I told you last night, is linked back to zinc as well. That could be a zinc deficiency. So coupled with zinc, coupled with the environmental estrogen, and actually the fat, the basketball belly fat produces estrogen, and all the chemicals coming in through the food that your partner is eating, and zinc could be causing erectile dysfunction. And I tell you that because there's so many you got male partners, so it's really important for you, right? I want you to be happy. Oily skin. That is could be linked to your elevated insulin levels, which will lead to elevated androgen levels and maybe even PCOS. So if you've got oily skin, bad skin, that's probably an indication that your insulin levels are too high because of sugar again. A lot of this is linking back to sugar and refined carbohydrates, and in particular grains. Grains actually are potent blockers of minerals, positively charged minerals like zinc. So whilst you get the ingredients list on the back of cereals and it lists all the vitamins and things, actually the wheat in that cereal blocks the minerals from working. So what's the point in having all the goodness in the cereal when it can't actually do its job because it's blocking what it should be doing? In particular, positively charged minerals. Crazy. What about cracked heels? Or maybe cracks here? That's a vitamin B12, B3 deficiency. It might be either or, and a really great source of B vitamins is nutritional yeast. Please research it. It's packed full of B vitamins, and you need B vitamins for loads of things, so that might be you. Right shoulder pain or trap pain, trapezius pain, up onto the right side, that could be an indication that you lack bile salts or you don't have a gallbladder. So bile's job is to be secreted and to work on the fats and break down the fats so as you can then, the fat can travel around your body, do what it has to do, but actually you could pull the essential fatty acids out of there and all of the goodness that you're eating, pull it out and use it. But without bile, how could that happen? It can't. So what happens is your gallbladder, maybe you even have a blockage in the bile ducts, and the gallbladder may become inflamed. You may have an inflamed liver anyway, you might have fatty liver. So between the gallbladder and the liver, which work in tandem, they're amazing, help each other out. If there's problems with each of them and they're inflamed, it pushes on a nerve on the right side that comes up your right side into your shoulder and into your trap, and might even shoot down your arm. And it's called the phrenic nerve. And if it's pushed against, it causes you pain. And you think you've just got a stiff neck all of the time. Oh, it must be the way I'm lying. You spend a fortune changing your pillows. You spend a fortune trying a couple of different mattresses. Oh, we'll get a memory foam this time, John. Oh no, we'll get that bed that sits you up. You know, you press the button, you spend fortunes. Actually, it's a bile issue, it's a gallbladder issue and a liver issue. But be reassured that we're fixing all of this. We're fixing all of this by how you're eating. Flaky skin, dry skin is omega-3. It's a deficiency in omega-3. I take Wiley's Atlantic omega-3 wild caught. It's really good. Big capsules though. It's really essential. Cod liver oil, a good quality cod liver oil is amazing too. Do not buy your cod liver oil or your fish oils from Asda's or Sainsbury's or Costco or anything like that. Get it from a really good source. Go on my website. Yellow skin, yellow eyes, yellow skin is obviously a liver issue, so it's like jaundice. But you might need, if you don't have a gallbladder, you might need purified bile salts. So you take bile salts to help or to act like bile. Maybe you've got like a sluggish bile system, so there's a backup, and you need to loosen everything off so that it stops the backup and it helps the flow. Sometimes you get what's called a cholesterol sludge, and everything just backs up and comes to a stop because the bile can't get through or there's not enough bile, and that could cause a jaundice, yellowing of the skin or of the eyes. Coughing, a reoccurring cough. I've heard people that have coughed like every sort of 5 minutes, and the doctors don't tell them what's wrong, but they go through like, and sometimes you just need a calcium supplement. Never long term, and again, research this, ask your doctor. Anything I'm suggesting here, I want you to ask your doctor first. But if you've got heart problems and things, don't take calcium, don't. But calcium sometimes does the job. And it's calcium lactate and not calcium carbonate that turns you into a stone. So short term calcium, see if it changes the cough. If it does, well, there's your answer, and if it doesn't, then stop taking it, okay? But do not take it unless you've asked your doctor first, please. Bleeding gums or red gums, that's a vitamin C deficiency, that's a really common one. Scurvy, or a slight form of scurvy. Nightmares, could be a B1 deficiency, so again, nutritional yeast is great for that. And what else? I think that's it for now. That's a lot of really common things. Now, boot up. Vitamin D3 and K2. D3 helps in the absorption and K2 helps in the transportation. It's pointless absorbing calcium from your intestines if you're not going to be able to put it where it's needed. There's no point just leaving it in arteries. So we need to put it back into bones and teeth where it's needed. And K2 helps with that. That's why they come as they're like a double act. And that's what is in boot up. So I've talked to you about Activate, I've talked to you about boot up. I've covered these supplements at length in some videos that I'm going to share tomorrow night for you. And it's on all of the supplements. Please watch them. It's essential. Your health is essential to me. You know, I never put blood, sweat and tears into these for nothing. You know, see, to bring products to market, it costs an absolute fortune. It really does. So, are we breaking even? No even anywhere near. But actually, these were important for me because I know that you need them. My clients need them. So that is HbA1c and glycation and blood sugar, which is why you have no additional additive sugar on the meal plan. None. There's naturally occurring sugar in the food that you'll eat on there, some of it, and you never ever snack on fruit for that very reason. The fructose, as we've talked about, is not good.